Hello everyone, this is a highly anticipated video. This is my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. So let's get started here. The first palettes I'm going to show are the ones that are currently in my bathroom, which means that the ones that I love and use all the time. This one is Melt Vita. This one I actually got on Poshmark. Very pretty. Because I did not get it when it initially came out, and I have the Muerte as well, and I love All Melt Cosmetics. I love this one because of the packaging, honestly. I have Dark Matter, which very sleek. This is very different from Melt packaging. Most of it is similar. This is kind of like a vegan leather, and you open it, it has the circles instead of the rectangles, but very nice shades. This is like a very putty shade, so it's very unique. This is gorgeous. It's like a red brown, but yeah, I really enjoy it. Very good. This is Muerte, which is the companion palette to the Vita, so I have both. Muerte is new to my collection, but I had to have it because I had the Vita and it's beautiful. I don't really use the Color Story that often, and also keep in mind it's brand new. If I had it for longer, I probably would have hit pan already on this beautiful dark red shade or one of the blue shades, but it's brand new to my collection, so very pretty palette. Next is the Gemini 2. I really like the rosy Color Story. This shade Schmood, if you could see, I've used that probably the most. Very flattering, red brown. The only criticism I have of this palette is that maybe these shades are very similar in tone, so when you put them on the eyes, these don't really, like these two and these two look pretty much identical on the eyes, even though they do look slightly different in the pan. But I love the greens. I think it's a great companion palette to the original Gemini to have these additional greens, and it's very rosy. Reminds me of the vintage rose, I think from, it's either Give Me Glow, I think it's Give Me Glow, I think so, but reminds me of that palette. Plus the packaging is super pretty. This is She's in Parties. Really like the tones of this palette, all the purples and plums. This is very similar to Schmood, but really like it. Wear it a lot. This is by far my favorite palette in my collection. This is my favorite one. It's new to my collection, but I love the dark grungy tones, like this dark purple. I've done looks with all the browns, and then I've mixed it with the teal on the edges and the outer and inner corner, and that's beautiful. The light blue all over the bottom lid. It's the Bailey Sarian Melt Cosmetics collab. The plaid, nice packaging, just pretty mirror. I love this palette. It's my favorite one. This is my second favorite. This is the original Gemini. This is the original packaging. They've updated the packaging to look like the Gemini 2. The roses are a bit bigger. They have like that nice, pretty sheen look to the roses. But the Color Story of the Gemini is just so pretty. I love the yellows and the grungy tones and the greens, and it's just a very cohesive, well done palette. I think I've said before that if I was to make an eyeshadow palette, it would look like Gemini. But now that I have the Fatally Yours palette, this is my vibe. I just love it. So my two favorite palettes in my entire collection. This is Eyeshadow. This is the original industrial palette. Very pretty. I love it. Very unique. This is like gunmetal, very gorgeous. Very like a sheer purple. I kind of want to swatch. Very pretty. I kind of want to swatch this one too. You see how sparkly and gorgeous? It's not even picking it up in the camera, to be honest with you. Just like my phone camera, so it's not doing a service. But it's just a beautiful palette. I love it. And then, of course, I have the Eyeshadow Industrial 2, which is the same type of packaging as she talked about in her video, making this mold. It's like a unique mold for the palette. And it is a very pretty color story as well. Somebody described this as being like Pat McGrath, like having nothing but Pat McGrath special shades, and I think that's a really good way to describe it. It's literally like having the Pat McGrath palette, but instead of having any mattes, you have only special shades. Some of them are duochrome, some of them are sparkle, some of them are just sheer. It's just really, really nice. Very expensive, but very good quality and unique, so I enjoy them. This is the Danessa Myricks palette. I just learned who Danessa Myricks was recently when I bought this palette. You can see it's very well loved. You could just tell that a makeup artist made this palette. You could take the shades out rather easily. She created it that way. She has putties. These are like a putty mix, like a putty-like consistency with the powders. And then she has a really nice nude tone, cohesive color story. The mirror is really, really nice. It bends all the way back, as you can see, with ease. It's designed that way. So you could just tell that a makeup artist created this palette. She made tones that worked for everybody. She made really luxe, wonderful packaging that's very easy to use. It's bothering me. There's like smudge on the mirror, but really nice palette. I do think it's not for everybody because the putty shades, I feel like you do have to have a little bit of experience with it in order to use it properly. It was like a little bit of a learning curve to use it, but once I like figured it out, I really enjoyed it. So that's that one. Hindash. Now this palette I actually love. What I do not love about this palette is the packaging. It's like that like cheap cardboard packaging that gets dirty. I've like literally just like wiped it down with like a wipe, because occasionally I do that, things get messy, and it just looks old and looks like not nice. Like they could have easily put like a lamination on this to make it so that it lasted, because the palette is so expensive. Like to me it's unacceptable for a $70 or $60 something palette, but the shadows themselves are gorgeous. I really like that you have the gradation of color. I think that's really unique. He designed it to be like a painter's palette, which I think is really unique and nice. And the shadows, I think I watched one creator, like Instagram creator, who talked about how the shadows kind of reminded her of the MAC shadows in the 90s, where they don't swatch well, but they perform well, if that makes sense. Like these, I've used this probably 1,000 times, and you can barely tell that I've used it because there's no kickback in the pan, like very little, and it performs really beautifully on the eyes. So it's a very good palette. And plus you can use like this orangey shade, this like pinky shade as blush. You can use this as like a bronzer. This is a little too gray to be a bronzer, but you could. This could be like a setting powder, like a banana setting powder. So he designed this to be a eye and face palette. So I think it's a really beautiful palette. I can't stand the packaging. So for that reason, I would not necessarily recommend it. But I do love the palette itself, if that makes sense. This is the Shroud Cosmetics Arcana palette. Now, I have 2 more Shroud Cosmetics palettes, which I'll pull out. So I don't use this one as much. I thought it was cool when I got it, but the reason, I think it's beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful palette. I just think that the reason I probably don't use it very often is because I don't really know what to do with the color story. But granted, if you look at it, like if you just cover this side, it's like a really nice color story, and you look at this side, that's a really nice cohesive color story. So it is nice. You can make a complete look with it. When I look at it, I feel like I just never know what to do. But if I looked at it in quads, maybe I'd do more with it. It's very nice quality. Hold on, let me swatch it for you so you can see. Like a very jewel toned and pretty. Nice quality shadow. Do like her shadows. Keep in mind though, if you order something from Shroud, it's going to take a very long time to come in. So if you don't like having to wait 3, 4, 5 months for something. Might not be the brand for you, but she's a really nice person who owns this brand. It's a small brand. She makes the shadow from her house. So it's very high quality. It's very good. Worth the wait, in my opinion. I have 2 more from Shroud Cosmetics. This is a collaboration with Batty Bean, and I love her videos. I love her color story. I mean, look how cute. This is like the Halloween palette. She has 2. It's freaking bats, which, I mean, come on, look at that color story. It's amazing. And then she has the follow-up, which is I think it's Hello Bean. Really nice complementing shades. Black Flame is like a special shade. It's just gorgeous. It's like a duochrome. Hold on. See how pretty that is? You can't even see it because in this lighting, it looks like a dark plum, but depending on the lighting, it actually becomes like green, because it's like a duochrome that changes based on the light. It's just such a pretty shade. I love that shade. That Crypt is like that perfect murky yellow shade. And then you have one of my favorite shades, Trappa and Handbook. Gorgeous. I just love both of these. They're never leaving my collection. I will have them forever and ever because I love them so much. So that's why I don't use Arcana as much. It's not because I don't like Arcana. I just, if I'm going to pick a Shroud Cosmetics palette to use, I'm going to pick one of these 2. And I love Halloween. So there's that. Next palette. I got this from Poshmark. I feel like everyone knows this palette. It's sultry. I don't know. I didn't love it as much as everybody else. It's beautiful. It's nice. I just, for whatever reason, I don't reach for it. I don't know why. I think it's just because of the volume of palettes I have. I used to be more of a neutral, like I always wore a neutral eye. Now I've like been wearing a lot more color. So I just haven't been wearing it as much. And the only color in here is the Bloom shade, which I'm not a big peach fan. So it's beautiful. I mean, it's nice. I like it. Nothing really to say about it. I love the packaging. I'm always going to keep it for the packaging. So sparkly. So girly. Love it. And you can't get this anymore. It was like a special holiday release that you can't get anymore. So I'm going to keep it for that reason as well. This is the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse. Now, people could say whatever they want about Manny, but his packaging is, I mean, it's divine. It's very pretty. It's cardboard though. Keep that in mind. My favorite shade in here is Starry Eyed and Meteor. Meteor is like this really pretty purpley gray toned shade. It has like sparkle. Oh, you see how pretty that is? Ooh, I feel like you can see it. It has like that pretty sparkle to it. I love it. Good quality. Like his shadows. Like the packaging. Cute. I have the full collection. Esum Cosmetics. I think I got this because I wanted to get the either Makeup by Mario or the new Kim Kardashian Skin by Kim, and I decided to get this one instead because I think this one is designed for like makeup artists, and I kind of was intrigued by it. Plus I like the plums, so it's like that neutral color story, but it has like those nice plums as well. And I thought the packaging was kind of cool. It comes in and out. I don't use it as much as I thought I would. I thought this was like a color story I would use all the time. I'm like, look at, they're all mattes. It's all neutral. I thought I would literally use it all the time, and I probably used it twice so far. Nice. I like it. So I'm no longer a supporter of Huda Beauty for my own personal reasons. I just find that her soul as a person, sorry, I was like wiping the shadow off. She just does not, she's had too many moments in her career where I felt like she was nasty to a person or just not kind as a creator. So I just no longer support her, but I do like her palettes. I'm no longer going to buy any future palettes. I have 2. I have the Rose Quartz, and then I have the Empowered. Where'd it go? I have Empowered somewhere. Here it is. I have Empowered. These are my 2 Huda Beauty palettes. I no longer support her, so I won't be buying any of her palettes in the future. But what I do appreciate, the palettes that I do have, really nice mixture of creams. Like these are creams, these are nice powders, glitters. I mean, you just have a lot to work with. and the packaging's nice. They are expensive though. I like the rose quartz packaging way more than the empowered packaging. Like, I don't want her eyes. I don't know. To me, if she was going to do the empowered look, she should have done something like this. Like, this is my Dominique Cosmetics. This was something she did for Women's Day. I think Women's History Month. And it was like so cute. Look, like, never apologize for being a powerful woman. It has like lips and cute outfit, and just don't be a lady, be a legend. Like, it's just so cute, and it's pink, and I loved it. Like, if she wanted to do like an empowering palette, this is the way she should have done it. Not with her eyes and like this weird pixelated thing. I think at the time you could have like taken a picture of like your palette and it like entered you in a contest. So I guess, you know, points for being unique. Maybe this could have been the back. Maybe they could have made that the back and then done something cute like this for the front. To me, packaging is important when you're spending over $40 for a palette. I think these are like $70, like 60 something dollars. So if you're going to spend that much on a product, packaging to me is important. But the color stories are good. These two palettes in particular are very, very nice quality. Very, very pretty. But again, no longer supporting Huda Beauty. So that'll be my last Huda purchases. This is brand new to my collection. I love the packaging. Love the color story. Reminds me very much of the It's Freaking Bats by Betty Bean or Beauty Bean. I love both color stories. Kind of reminds, it gives me similar vibes. Obviously it's a little different. These have teals and blues. This one doesn't have any teal and blue. But similar tones, purples, yellows, murky yellow. Really nice. Love it. This is from Unearthly Cosmetics. Like it. I showed you guys this. This is my Dominique Cosmetics. It will never leave me because I love the packaging. I like how cute the size is. Like, if I ever get a Dominique Cosmetics palette again, I want her to come out with more palettes of this size that like fit in your hand. I just think it's so cute. This is Tiny Marbles, Sydney Grace. This is the late Mel Thompson. She passed, and what I love about this palette is that I bought it. I remember when it came out, I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna wait for the next palette that Mel does, because I knew that she would probably do another one. And then she sadly passed away, so I ended up getting it after she passed because I was like, well, I want something from her, and I'm so glad I did, because it just reminds me of her. The green, she said in her opening video that the green was her the same color of her tattoo, and she loved bugs, and so that's what the represent. And also a tattoo artist made this beautiful packaging, so I love it now that I have it. Really pretty color story. It's new to my collection, so it doesn't look very well used because of that. I love this green. I think it's called, what is it, Firebutts? Very, very pretty. That nice lavender. I love lavender. So it's a very pretty color story. It's a very nice palette. I like the quality. I like that it reminds me of Mel. So love it. This is my only Pat McGrath palette. I keep the packaging for obvious reasons. It's like pretty. All of her packaging is really sleek. It's like this like hardcover, really heavy, high quality packaging. This is, what is this actually one? I know that they repackaged this and made it a Star Wars palette. What is this called? Mothership 7. I forgot what the name of it actually was. I wish I could remember. Very pretty though. Has this shade in it, which is like one of my favorite shades from Pat McGrath. I think this is what Taylor Swift uses on her her tour. She uses that pretty sparkle over her eye with like a liner. Very beautiful. I like how I'm only swatching the glimmery, shimmery shades. That's very much my personality. But beautiful. Is it worth $120? No. I would never spend that much on a palette. I'm pretty sure I got mine on sale. I think it was like 65 or 70. I got it during one of the like major sales that they do. So none of my palettes I actually paid full price for, by the way. I would not recommend paying full price for anything. They always go on sale. I have to wait for the right time of year. I'll tie that later. But my only Pat McGrath, I do like it. This one's cute. It came with a deck of cards. I remember that. Angela, I don't want to butcher her name. I forgot. I don't want to say her last name wrong, but she's a YouTuber and she does really cute, colorful looks. She made the Club Nebula palette. This is by Kaleidos, I think. I love this green. What I really like about this palette is that you can't tell from looking at it, but these shades are very sheer. Let me see how sheer that is. It's very sparkly. So it's much more wearable than it looks in the pan. Like in the pan, you look at it and you're like, I wouldn't wear this like lime green sparkle over my eyes, but you actually would, because it's so sheer that these sparkle shades are actually very wearable. And then the dark mattes, you would just wear this. You look at the color store and you're like, wow, that's really colorful. It's kind of intimidating, but when you actually use it, it's not. The packaging's really cute. I don't like how bulky it is. Like I would much rather have like a slim, like a slim packaging, like something like this, than this big bulky box. It's hard to store, but it's nice. I mean, it's a limited edition product too. You can't get it anymore, so keep that. This is an Australian makeup artist named Christina Sikalis. I think she's Australian. Christina Sikalis. She made a very beautiful palette. Very hard plastic, nice quality packaging, nice and heavy. And then it's a very nice color story. You have all mattes on the bottom and all sparkle on the top. And it's good quality. I should wear it more. Ooh, it's nice. It's like buttery. Yeah, look how nice that swatches. These swatch really nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful palette. I'm pretty sure she's from Australia. If not, don't find me. But nice packaging. Nice palette. I'm glad I have it. My only Natasha Denona, but I do have one other on the way. Retro Glam. I liked the packaging. I loved like the retro look of it, like very 70s. And then the color story, I at the time was wearing a lot of green and a lot of mint. So this had green, this had mint. And then it had those neutrally shades. Like it had a lot of neutrals, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 neutrals. And then pops of color as well. And then you have the pretty green, which I love. Like this, I think it's called Emerald or Oz. Like look how pretty. It's like a nice pretty green. This is another one that I think I bought it on sale. I would always buy a Natasha palette on sale. I would wait for the sale. I would not spend whatever it is, the $69 or $70 that they charge for these palettes, because while yes, it's a beautiful palette, it's really nice quality, all of those things, there are tons of palettes that are beautiful quality and nice packaging and all those things that aren't this expensive. So I would wait for it to be on sale. If it's 50% off, like I think I got all my palette for 50% off, then it's worth it, because you know it's not too bad at that point. But I love it. Very nice. I'm glad I have it. This is new for my collection. This is the Lunar Beauty Siren Sunset. I think I have one other Lunar Beauty, Nude Prism. Nude Prism I'm looking for a new home for. So if anybody wants it, let me know. It's a very pretty color story. I love it. It's very nice. These are very sheer. One thing I could say about this palette is that I think it's really good for a beginner, because it's really buildable. Like you see, you can literally blend it to nothing. That's a bright pink that I just like blended to nothing. And that's the thing about this palette, which it's actually great for a beginner, because if you're a beginner, you want something that's really blendable, that's not going to leave a lot of pigment all at once, because if you something that's very pigmented, like all the Melt palettes are very pigmented palettes, so you want something like more sheer if you're a beginner. And also it's very easy to use, because you can literally use it in a line, you could use it in a diagonal. You have a light shade, a sparkle shade for the center, a light shade for the transition, and a dark shade for the outer corner. It's very easy palette to use. So it's not, I'm not looking for a new home because I don't like it. I just have all these other palettes and I think I can give this to a friend who will use it more than me. Siren Sunset is brand new to my collection. I just like the packaging. I'm not even gonna lie. I just thought the packaging was really, really pretty. And I was like, I want it for the packaging. Very pretty color story though. I haven't used it much, so I don't have much to say, but I do like the color story. Yeah, Mandy knows what to do when it comes to making a palette. I kind of wish she would make smaller palettes though, because they're kind of big. But yeah, I have this in the Eternal Eclipse, which I think I showed earlier. This is Vanity Makeup. I used this a ton when I first got this. I don't like these sparkle shades as much as I thought I did when I first got the palette. They're kind of chunky. Can you see that? Like, they're beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, look, I just blended down my hand. You can see how pretty it is. It's beautiful. It's just, they're chunkier. They kind of get all over my face when I use them. But the mattes, some of the best mattes I've ever used. I mean, look how nice it just swatched on my hand. Which, just because something swatches nice doesn't mean that it works well in the eyes, but this palette in particular does. And somebody, when it first came out, they thought it looked like the Tati Beauty palette, but like smaller, and I actually completely agree with that. Here's my Tati Beauty, so to show you guys the difference. Very similar color story outside of the plum shade. It has like the different, like the sparkles and the mattes. This has the mattes and the sparkles, but these sparkles they're different. This is like a straight up glitter. Like, you need a glitter glue. Will get up all over your face kind of glitter. These are not as satin as I think expected. Like, they're very sheer. Not like this one, which is like a much deeper satin shade. I love the glitters in the Tati Beauty one. I actually love them way more than I thought I would. Like, I thought like it was almost unnecessary. Like, can you guys see it? I don't know if you could see it, but I almost thought that like having a glitter row like this was unnecessary, but when I actually use them, I personally love that. I kind of love that it has like a little glitter in it. Very, very pretty. But long story short, I like that I have the Tati Beauty palette. It's like iconic in makeup. Vanity Cosmetics, she did a great job. She's a makeup artist, I forgot her name, but she's a makeup artist, whoever made this palette. And it's very similar in packaging to the Pat McGrath palette, but this is a cheaper palette at baseline. She is a small company, so you are spending a lot of money, but you're getting a very good quality product. Those mattes are fantastic. I like these two shades more than I like these two glittery shades. Just because these tend to get all over my face. And this is very pretty. This is like a gunmetal, gorgeous, like black with a ton of silver in it. And it's really nice. But really nice mirror. But yeah, good palette. This I'm looking for a new home for. It's not that I don't like it. I just have all these other palettes and I never wear this one. And I want to give it to a friend that I know will have a better home for. But honestly, it's the perfect color story. It has like that beautiful green, it has sparkle, it has these beautiful neutrals, a pop of blue. Honestly, it's like the perfect color story. I think I would make this color story myself. I just want to give it to someone who's going to use it more than I did. Plus this shade Memorized. It's like so pretty. So pretty. I'm like running out of arm space. Look how pretty. You guys see it? I like it. Very nice palette. Would like to find a new home for it. This I want to give away. I don't want this anymore. I ordered it because I feel like I saw it all over Instagram and everywhere. I think it's Fluorescence. It's like a Chinese company. I don't even remember the name of it, but it's very pretty. Like, look how pretty. But it doesn't perform well. I don't know why this got like raving reviews everywhere, because it does not perform well. And the packaging, while it does look pretty on camera, I feel like in person it looks kind of cheap. It's very plastic. It's like cardboard. It's like cardboard basically. I don't know. It just wasn't. It's a pretty pattern. I think I got it because I liked that it looked like a fan. I liked, like, I wanted to try it because I thought it looked really beautiful. Like, I wanted to put it on my vanity, but honestly, like, some of my other palettes are prettier. Like, this is more luxe than this cardboard thing. So if I'm going to put something on my vanity, I'm going to put something like this on it, not this, but I'll give it to a good home. I don't think it performs very well, though, so I'll give it to someone who maybe is better at makeup than me. Get that to work. This is another one I want to find a good home for. I liked it. I like the packaging. It's very sleek. Look how thin it is. It's good for travel. Hard box, but Supreme Nudes. I don't know. I just find that the shadow's a little dry. Like, if I'm gonna look for color like a nude like this, I'm gonna reach for something else. But it's pretty. I don't have anything bad to say. I find that these mattes are a little bit more dry, but pretty packaging. I'll give it to a good home. Rowan. I used to wear this all the time. This is the 1111. Very special. They performed better when I first bought it. Now it's kind of like I have to really dig in there, but it's like the most unique out of all my shadows in terms of consistency. It's like a thick putty that looks good on your eye all day. It doesn't wear away, which is one thing I like about this. It's almost like having a glitter glue in it. Like, it's just so like thick that it just doesn't wear off. But and it's pretty. It's like a cute little compact Rowan. I think it's Rowan. It's nice. This, I'm looking for a new home. I traveled with this a ton, so I definitely used this palette a ton. I have all these other ones. I don't need this anymore, but it's a perfect like 5 shade palette with all the colors that you're going to need on a daily basis to do like a 90s nude look. And it's like hard packaging. That's why I traveled with it, because it's like basically every brown nude that you would need. Ow, I almost like broke my nail. That you would need, but in a very small, compact packaging. So I'll give this to a friend that will use it more than myself. Dominique Cosmetic. This is like the kind of size that I was talking about earlier. I like when she does smaller palettes. I won't get rid of this because I bought one for myself and I gave one to my friend, and so it has like a memory. It says love the moments, you'll cherish the memories. And it had like this pretty glitter, and it has a nice memory attached to it, so I'm keeping it. But yeah, I like Dominique Cosmetics. I think she's cute. I like the person. I like Dominique. She seems like a nice person. I think her name's Kristen Dominique, something like that. Package Ta, one of the most overrated palettes I've ever seen in my life. Let me show you guys something. No $70, $80 palette should have a shade falling out of it. That's ridiculous. I do like the creams. You can see that I used it. I mean, I hit matte. I hit pan on like 2 of the shades. So you can see that I used it. But it's nice. It's overrated. There's other palettes I'd recommend to you before this one. Yeah, that really bothers me, that a shade is like falling out of it when it's as expensive as it is. This is the Kathleen Lights palette, which it was really cute. At the time, she had like stickers. Like, she gave you stickers to like decorate your own palette. I thought it was really unique, really cute. Nice color story. I would be willing to part with this though if any of my friends want it, because I just have all these others. Very nice. Look, feel butter. That was like very buttery and soft. Yeah, it's very nice. It's nice quality. I like the packaging. I think she designed it for like a YouTuber, like so that you can hold it like this. And I like that like this comes off and you can like put your stickers on it. Thought it was cute. I think it's limited edition. I don't even know if they sell it anymore, but it was cute. It was a cute moment at the time. Kathleen Lights palette. This is a throwback. The Desi and Katie Dose of Colors. I kept this for the longest time for this one shade. There's like no other shade like this. that's as blue and sparkly as this one. Although now I feel like I can probably dupe it with all these other shadows I have. But at the time, no. Yeah, it's a moment. I like how sparkly. Look how sparkly. I love it. This did not get the hype that it deserved. This deserved way more hype. Jaclyn Hill Morphe Divine Neutrals. I hit pan on 2 of the shades. This shade is my favorite shade, probably out of all my neutral palettes. Love this brown, dark, moody shade. Has like a little bit of red in it. It deserved more hype. Very good quality. I think it's under $10. Maybe $12, but really good price. Why it was not getting the hype it deserved, I don't know, but loved it. This I'm willing to part with. Not because I don't like it. Give Me Glow has some of the best. This is Two Moods by Give Me Glow. Give Me Glow has some of the best glitters on the market. Like, let me show you this glitter shade. It is so metallic. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous glitter shade. It's like so metallic. I'm like literally swatching all my favorite shades on my arm, so you can't tell how beautiful it is next to all these other beautiful shadows. But I promise you. I think when they designed this, they should have designed it where this was magnetic and that it broke apart, so that this was one palette and this was one palette, and you bought the collection like Melt did with theirs. Just because it's so big. But one thing that's nice about it is that all of these can be used as blushes pretty much. So you could use these as shadows, like the sparkly ones, but all of these would work as a blush, and because it's so big, it would all work as like a blush palette. So I do like that. But I just never use it, so I want to give it to someone who actually uses it. And I think the packaging is beautiful. I don't know why I don't use it. I think it's because it's so big that I just never pull it out. But I do like it. I'm going to give it to a good home. This is old, but never going anywhere. Marc Jacobs. Look how sleek and beautiful that packaging is. Perfect travel. And I like the colors. This is my only Charlotte Tilbury, another overrated, ridiculously overrated palette. It's like $50 for this little quad. Why? I think this is Eyes to Memorize. No, this is Exaggerize. Exaggerize, bigger, brighter eyes. It's nice. It's kind of old, so I feel like it doesn't perform as well as it used to. But there's nothing special about it. Like, literally, there's just nothing special about it. This is pretty. But look how much I had to, like, dig in there in order to get it to work. Like, it's very pretty. It's like a pretty sparkle. It's kind of like Space Cowboy. This is very similar to Urban Decay's Space Cowboy, if you're familiar with that. Not worth the $50 or whatever it is. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Charlotte Tilbury, everything else. Like the bronzer and the blushes. And, I mean, everything else is fantastic. But the eyeshadow, yeah, did not impress me. Unimpressed. This is my cutest packaging palette. This is actually shockingly, this is Kylie Cosmetics, okay? This was like a Halloween palette. Honestly, she called it a Halloween palette, but I think it was supposed to come out with the Batgirl movie that never actually was released. That's what I think. And I think when the Batgirl movie wasn't released, I think she decided to make it a Halloween palette. And make it a Batman palette. But it's adorable. I mean, look. It looks like a comic. I don't even care that it's big. This comes off. This is just a sticker. I leave it on because it's so cute. She made it look like a comic, and the color story makes perfect sense for the comic. If you look at the comic and then you look at the color story, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Does the Kylie palette perform the best? Not really, but I did not buy it for the performance. I bought it because I loved packaging. Just being honest. Love the packaging. Okay, moving on. This is my newest palette in my entire collection. This is Adept Cosmetics, Amy Loves Makeup. She's a creator on YouTube. really pretty. Adept makes some of the most luxurious, sparkly duochromes ever. My favorite shade is Pisces. Love it. You can't tell. It looks gold here, but when you look at it in person, it has blue and gold, and it's just like, it's so pretty. I love this shade. And actually, I was surprised. Yeah, it almost looks silver there. But it's not. It's like green and blue, and it's my favorite shade. I love Pisces, and she almost said that she didn't include this shade. It's like the one shade that she wasn't sure about, but I'm so glad that Amy decided to put this in the palette because it is my favorite one. It's my favorite shade. I love it. I have to play with this more to have opinions on it, but first impression, really hefty, nice quality packaging, really pretty shades. I'm excited to use it. I'm excited that it's part of my collection. These are like my mini palettes. This is the Victoria Beckham. I actually ordered this on accident. I meant to get the mattes. This is silk. This is like the what do you call that? Satins. Like a satin, the satin shades. I meant to get the all matte one, but I'm kind of glad that I made that mistake on accident because I think it's pretty. And I think if I'm going to do an all, I have tons of palettes that I can do an all matte look on. So if I'm going to do an all sparkly, like it, I don't know, it's nice. I like it a lot. I love the packaging. It's so small, and it like reminds me of like a tobacco case from like the 90s or 80s. It's like so cute. I love it. This is one of my favorite palettes. This is they still make a few units. I think they sell it at Anthropology now because the brand closed. Olivia Palmero. The shadows were okay. I mean, there's nothing to like run home about, which is why I think the brand doesn't exist anymore, but I love the color story. This packaging, look, it's magnetic, it's heavy, it's gold, it's luxurious. I just love it. I'm sad that the brand closed because honestly, she did a great job. Olivia. This was a gift. I don't think I would have bought this for myself. I think it's cute. Would I have bought that color story? Probably not. Yeah, it's Chanel. It's exciting. It was a gift. Thank you. It's pretty. I'm glad I have it. It's more of like something I have on the vanity though than I actually use because I tried to use it once and I just didn't like the look that I got from it because I think it's just the color story. It's just not the kind of color. I wouldn't wear red and green and gold. Like this is like Christmas, like a Christmas palette, you know, and I'm not like, I'm not into wearing Christmas colors all year long, you know, but it's pretty. I lied when I said I had one Pat McGrath. This is my second Pat McGrath, but it's a small one. That's why I think it wasn't a mothership. It's nice. I like this brown. What is this even called? It's pretty packaging. I actually don't know what it's called. Sublime Bronze Ambition. This is a Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition. So this is like the smaller version of the Mothership palette. Pretty packaging. Nothing else to say. I don't use it that often. I will never, ever get rid of this. This is the Vault Collection by Jaclyn Hill. So pretty. I think they were like $5 a piece when I bought them. They were like having a sale, and I think I bought the whole collection for like $5, which was a steal. Very good quality. I had no issues with mine. I know people at the time had issues, but I've like literally never had issues with the Morphe palette. I actually like Morphe more than I like ColourPop, but don't tell anybody I said that. Very nice. You can get this has actually ended up being my favorite color story, which is kind of shocking. At the time, you would think that something like that would have been my favorite color story because that's like what I wore, browns and oranges and golds. But I just loved the dark moodiness of this palette, like witchy. Loved it. They were like $5 at the time, and I like having the whole collection. Mine are not the original ones, like from the first batch, because it doesn't have the circle on it, which I think Becca ended up suing Morphe or something for the rights to that. So they ended up changing the packaging for that reason, but I love mine. I'm glad I have it. They don't sell it anymore. I think you can get it on Poshmark though, or one of those sites. Almost done, people. I promise. I think I have a few more, like 4 more, maybe 5. decluttering my Laura Lee Los Angeles palette last year, which was the Nudie Patootie 2, which I loved. I gave it to a friend. So when I say decluttered, I didn't really do anything with it. I just gave it away to someone who I knew was going to use it more than myself. This is the Candy Skies. I've always, like, this is as colorful as I've ever gone. I don't have, like, if you've noticed, I don't have, like, a rainbow palette. This is as rainbow as it's going to get. It's like pastel. Pastels were big when this came out. And this was a really nice pastel. I know it performed really nice for a pastel. Like, pastels are very hard to make. And this one performed very nice. And then these duochrome shade, like, duochromes weren't even that big at the time, but she did a good job. And it was like Laura Lee did this with her cousin, Erin Weaver. That was like her family member. And I like that they named it Candy Skies. I remember when I was a kid, I used to look at the sky and be like, it looks like a cotton candy. And I think she like did that vibe. She made it look like cotton candy, like the sky. And I thought that was super cute. So I love this palette. It's just huge. Look how big this palette is. But I love the color story. Haunted Pumpkin by Give Me Glow. I mean, the color story, and as I said before, Give Me Glow has some of the best, glitters. Metallic glitter shades. It has some of the best in the business. So good. I love the color story. This is just a huge palette. I'm never going to use all of these shades. I'm never going to hit pan, basically. Give Me Glow did recently change their palettes to make them smaller. Now they're like this big, and all of the pans are like half the size, because that was, I think, a lot of customers told them, like, we'd rather pay less money and have less product than have a palette that's this large, because we're never going to use all of it. But the color story is gorgeous. The palette itself is gorgeous. I'm glad I have it. And I love Halloween. Halloween palettes are my favorite. Persona. I use this so much. It's like a brown-eyed girl palette. Really, really nice. I love the purple, the orange. Like, she designed this to basically, for all the colors to look good on someone with brown eyes. She did a great job. This is the original packaging. You can still get this palette, but it doesn't have this artwork on it, which I wish she would have left the artwork alone. Like, she made it from the cardboard to the, like, a nice hard plastic, and it's like white. But I kind of wish she had the original artwork on it, because the original artwork was beautiful. I loved it. But you can't get the original artwork anymore. You can't get this palette the way it is anymore. But you can still get the color story. Persona. This is a flashback. I got this on Poshmark. This is Urban Decay Gwen Stefani. She made this like the No Doubt music video, which I thought was super cute. Color story. It still performs well, even though how old. It's probably like almost 8-9 years old at this point. And it honestly, I don't really wear it on my eyes anymore because of how old it is, but it performs nice. I like it. Packaging's really cool. Urban Decay did a great job. This is new to my collection, Going Coconuts. I heard everyone raving about the Going Coconuts from ColourPop, so I had to get it for myself. I find that it wears away really quickly. I like Morphe more than I like the ColourPop palette. I know that's like very not popular opinion, but I just find that the Morphe shadows for me perform a little bit better. The ColourPop is good. This is cute. It has like a nice mirror. The color story, I get why it has rave reviews in terms of color story, because it's like a nice, neutral, everyday, gorgeous color story, but nothing about it wowed me the way that I thought it would, but it's cute. This is brand new to my collection. This is the Twilight ColourPop palette. Has that cute, I kept the outdoor sleeve because it's cute, and then it has like that pretty, I like the color story of the palette. It's very moody of the first film. I love green and blue and navy, and this is a really pretty sparkly silver. Let me swatch it somewhere. Yeah, like look how pretty that silver is. It's gorgeous. It's like, it's almost glitter. It's like literally a glitter. So pretty. I like the color story. I don't like this image. Nothing against the actors, nothing against the movie. I just think that they could have done more with Twilight. Like, because of the mood of the palette, what I wish they would have done is taken a picture of the forest or a picture of the scene that they used in the movie and put it here rather than having the two actors. That's just my opinion. But the palette itself is cute. And I think it performs really well, actually. I think it's like a really nice palette. Performance-wise, I think it performs well. This is a ColourPop palette, So Jaded by Kathleen Lights. You can tell that I like certain creators because I have the other Kathleen Lights palette. This was a moment, this was the first time that ColourPop did a large palette like this. And I'm glad I have it. It has a little bit of everything. Like I said earlier, this is as rainbow as it's going to get. I like that it's all jewel toned, which, get it. And I like to play on words. This is called the So Jaded, as in jaded, like jade, like jewels. And it's all jewel tones. I remember this shade came out and I was like, oh, I have to have the palette for this shade alone. And then it has this beautiful, this is like the Pat McGrath one. It's like that pretty sparkle shade that can literally go on any other shade. Peridot. I think it's how you say it. Yeah, it still performs nice after all this time. But as I said before, the Morphe palette over time performs just as good as when I bought it. ColourPop, not so much. I like it though. That might be the end, guys. Wow, that is the end. I hope you guys like this video. These are all of the palettes that I'm trying to find new homes for, just to remind you. So if you are my friend and you liked anything in the video, especially if you like one of these, let me know and I will send it to you. But I have to know you personally. I don't want it to be some like random on the internet. Not because I don't trust you, but I don't know you. So maybe I don't trust you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks everyone. Bye. I realized after the fact that I stopped the video that I left out my Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 and the OG Volume 1. How did I leave out Volume 1? I mean, look how many shades I've hit pan on. Iconic moment in makeup, obviously. Had to leave that in the video. Now I'm done. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye.